All right. Stream should be up and running here in just a minute. We got about 7 minutes until the close, so probably won't see what the closing price of the Qs in SPY are until near the end of today's video. I don't think it'll change all that much. We've been range bound all day on the Qs in SPY, but let's go ahead and get started. Good afternoon. This is Ifan from the Strategic Day Trader, and this is your market wrap for June 9th, 2021. SPY basically flat down 0.12 right now. Like I said, we got now about 6 minutes left. Q's basically flat. Also, if you look at the daily, we have been inside of yesterday's range all day today. So it doesn't change any of the expectation going into tomorrow that we have a low momentum market, but it's bullish. Okay, so we're not grinding. It seems to be that we get a trend day to kind of set the tone, and then we have a couple days of basing and sideways. Okay, so still bullish going into tomorrow. Let's take a quick peek at the IWM, since what we saw today are a lot of the small caps and micro caps were moving a lot, especially in the pre-market. Okay, so IWM gonna finish down 0.2%, but also still trying to break out of the range it's been in for quite a while. Okay, sloppy range that it's been in, and still bullish. Okay, so going into tomorrow, still bullish overall in the market, but from a day-to-day perspective, not expecting too much out of the Qs and SPY. Okay, all right, let's get into today's plays. Starting with the DOYU. I thought I had an okay setup this morning on the 2-minute, not good enough to play. So end up letting it go. Sorry, not the DOYU. I'm thinking of the GOTU. GOTU. Okay, neither of which the gaps are all that good. But did have a okay breakout here in the morning. I thought this was a little bit too sloppy of the range, especially if you drill down to the 1 minute. So I let this one go. So this was a pass. This one doesn't really bother me too much, the fact that it did work and work really well, because I didn't like the daily. So here's the daily. So, I mean, you're always going to see stuff like this. You may be aware of it. You work out the number. So here was the daily. Going to be moving up into that resistance. So by end of day, it did come all the way back down, but not without giving like a 4R for move initially. So yeah, this one doesn't really bother me. It was a nice breakout, good little play there on the GOTU. Let that one go. Now the one that did bug me about letting it go, and it's more just because it kind of lost track of it, and here it is still making new highs as the markets had already sold off to the lows. Is this CVA. So this one was a little bit tricky because I did see it in the morning, didn't play it, it was kind of far away, and it was one that came up later. So that was one of the tough things. We had all of these small caps, micro caps that were gapping up this morning. I mean, there were a bunch of them: AEMD, GEO, AMSWA, WPG, CLNE, SPI, WORX. A lot of these are very thin, right? A lot of these are the lower priced ones. I mean, there are plenty more. The gaps list this morning was really, really big. This one kind of snuck under the radar, the CVA. So we didn't have it on the initial list. Found it a little bit later. And then, so did this pullback. And after it did this pullback, here's the thing, is that I put out in the room, wait for the next, we'll play the next setup. It just, I lost track of it a little bit. And then off it went. And I never saw another way to get into it. Okay, and that was the other thing that was disappointing, is that if we had gotten a pullback maybe to the 20 MA, a nice pullback, or another decent base, you can see there's all of this upward slant here all morning. And I kind of knew it was gone by the time I think, when did I talk about this? Yeah, I was like already going into lunch. I wasn't even really thinking, okay, would there be another chance at this, because it already moved so much. But you just look at the quality of the gap, and this really should have been played. I mean, look at that, clearing all that resistance there. Here it is on the weekly. You can see very nice breakout on the weekly even. Here it goes to 1775. So yeah, and I just it never let up there on the CVA. Yeah, all day hold, holds you, keeps you in until the very end. Very impressive CVA. Big disappointment not to be in it. But we talked about it plenty. We talked about the entry. We talked about the quality of the gap. We went over all 5 criteria why this is either a tier 1 or you could knock it half a point for shock value, just making it a tier 2 plus, right? So yeah, that was a costly miss there on the CVA. Next play was the ESGC. I think quite a few of you played the ESGC with me. I played it just as a 5-minute pullback here. Very, very tight stop. Did get to a first target there. 1R. Just here was the buy setup right in here. And then close at the end. The rest of it was trailed out break even underneath the hourly. So there was, we got to the first target here. And then here I'll show you where the trail is off of the hourly here. Trailed underneath this bar, which was actually just break even. Okay, just like a penny above break even, but basically break even there. Okay. So that those were the plays from today, at least what I saw. There was a nice call from Sammy on the CLVT as a short. That worked out pretty nicely. But overall, I didn't think that there was that much. I thought the open was really sloppy, and I thought a lot of back and forth, a lot of whippy moves. So you can see that a lot of these plays, like I let the got you go, and then the CVA play wasn't until after the first hour, I believe. So right in here. Okay, yeah, almost after the first 2 hours. So I thought the morning was pretty sloppy. And looking at it here now, this is actually okay of a play. This is fine with me to play. Like I said, I found it late, so I didn't play this breakout, but I think that was fine to play. You might have been able to get a first target and then maybe get shaken out of it, but hopefully not if you did play. But this as an opening breakout is okay. Played quite a few of these in the last couple of weeks. It's a pretty standard play for me. Yeah, we had like the ENG recently. So yeah, that's fine of a play there. Let's see, does it hold 1626? And then the low here 1621 does take that out by a nickel. So yeah, might have got shaken out of this if I had played this breakout, but wasn't really paying attention to it until got the pullback and then the secondary entry. So that kind of was the one today. So as we're out of earnings season, as we're getting into the summer doldrums, that's just kind of the way it is. Sometimes there's going to be only 1 or 2 plays really that give you the nice big move. A lot of sloppiness today, I thought. So, that just, for me, it makes it more important to play quality over quantity. Okay. So, all of the plays, the CVA, this was a pro gap with a 1, 2, 3 here on the 5-minute. It's a next entry after a pullback. The ESGC, like I said, was just a 5-minute pullback. The got you was a 2-minute base breakout, and all of these we're doing something significant on the daily, right? This is a gap trying to transition out of a downtrend. ESGC breaking out, okay, of this consolidation, trying to transition on the daily. Also, transitions I'm not as aggressive with. This we already looked at the daily gap and then the weekly breakout. So as much time frame alignment is what we want always. Okay. All right. So I wouldn't be surprised if for the time being, until maybe we get into either like early July, this may be the tone of things, especially because the market is in such a low momentum environment. Okay. So really got to focus, make sure the things that you're going after are moving, are most likely to be on their own page, right? That's what we want to focus on. Okay. Hope you did well today. We'll be back at it tomorrow. Have a good evening.